The moment Daniel Dubois dropped to his knee in the 9th round against Alexander Usyk, a storm of controversy erupted. It wasn't just about a loss, it was about the way he lost. Fans, pundits, and even former fighters weighed in with their verdicts. Did he quit? Was he robbed? Or was it simply the case of a man knowing his own limits? Now, as whispers of a rematch intensify, the question looms larger than ever. But before we look forward, let's go back to the moment that set the boxing world on fire. August 2023. Poland. The night air was thick with anticipation as Usyk, the undefeated Ukrainian champion, prepared to defend his 3 unified world titles. Across from him stood Daniel Dubois, a British heavyweight with raw power and something to prove. Many believed he was being fed to a master technician, a man who had dismantled Anthony Joshua twice and who moved like no other heavyweight before him. But Dubois came with his own plan, a wild card no one saw coming. Then, in the 5th round, something happened that would haunt the fight long after the final bell. Dubois unleashed a body shot, a brutal punch that sent Usyk crashing to the canvas. The crowd gasped. The impossible had happened, or had it? The referee quickly ruled the punch low, waving off the potential knockdown and granting Usyk time to recover. Dubois' team erupted in fury, screaming that the punch was legal. Slow-motion replays only added to the confusion, with some angles showing it as borderline, others suggesting it was a fair shot. And yet, despite the controversy, Usyk recovered. He steadied himself, his championship mindset taking over. From that moment, the fight turned. Dubois, once brimming with confidence, seemed hesitant. Usyk, on the other hand, was relentless. He piled on the pressure, his footwork weaving traps that forced Dubois into uncomfortable positions. By the 8th round, the cracks were beginning to show. Usyk landed a clean shot that sent Dubois down. The British fighter rose, but the damage was evident. Then came the 9th, where everything unraveled. A stiff, well-placed shot landed, and Dubois dropped again. But this time, he stayed down. He knelt, listening to the referee count, and didn't rise in time. The referee waved it off. Usyk had won. What followed was an outcry. Some fans defended Dubois, saying he had taken a solid punch and simply couldn't continue. Others were less forgiving, accusing him of surrendering when the going got tough. Even Bob Arum, a legend in the fight game, had his doubts. "It seemed to me Dubois quit," Arum said bluntly, his years of experience leaving little room for doubt. The claim stung. Dubois had already faced similar accusations in his fight against Joe Joyce, where he took a knee due to an eye injury, so severe that his future in the sport was in jeopardy. But quitting? That's a word no fighter ever wants attached to their name. Dubois, however, was not done. The criticism fueled him. In the months that followed, he went on an absolute tear, silencing doubters one fight at a time. He stepped into the ring against the monstrous Gerald Miller, a man known for his relentless aggression, and stopped him in brutal fashion. Then came the clash with the undefeated Filip Hrgovic, another test that many believed would expose Dubois. Instead, he passed with flying colors. And then, the moment that changed everything, he took on Anthony Joshua, the former 2-time heavyweight champion, and knocked him out cold. Suddenly, the narrative changed. Dubois was no longer a quitter, he was a force to be reckoned with. Now, with the IBF world title around his waist, he stands on the precipice of a rematch with Usyk. But the path isn't clear. A mandatory order from the WBO has thrown Joseph Parker into the mix, potentially derailing the fight the world truly wants to see. But the biggest question remains unanswered. If Dubois gets his second chance against Usyk, will the ghosts of that night in Poland return? Or will he prove, once and for all, that he is not the man people once doubted, but the man destined to rule the heavyweight division? The world watches, waiting for the moment when Daniel Dubois and Alexander Usyk step into the ring once more. But this isn't just another fight. This is about redemption. This is about rewriting history. The question of whether Dubois quit in their first encounter still lingers like a shadow over his career. The whispers of doubt have never truly faded, even after his stunning victories over Miller, Hrgovic, and Joshua. But now, he has the chance to answer them, not with words, but with his fists. Usyk, the masterful tactician, knows this isn't the same Dubois he faced before. That night in Poland, he was up against a fighter who was dangerous but uncertain. Now, he faces a man who has been through fire, a man who has stared down the world's best and emerged stronger. But Usyk himself is no stranger to adversity. He has conquered every challenge put before him, silencing doubters time and time again. He's the man who outboxed Joshua twice, the man who went to war with Tyson Fury and came out unscathed, the man who never seems to lose. As the negotiations unfold, the tension rises. The WBO's mandatory order for Joseph Parker to fight. Usyk threatens to derail the rematch, but the boxing world knows where the real fight is. Dubois and Usyk unfinished business, a question that must be answered. And this time, there will be no excuses. Dubois has learned from his past mistakes. He knows what it feels like to hesitate, to let doubt creep in for a split second. He knows that in a fight of this magnitude, a single moment of weakness can define everything. But he also knows his power. He remembers that shot in the 5th round, the punch that sent Usyk down, the punch that was ruled low but could have changed everything. He knows that he has the ability to hurt the Ukrainian champion. The training camps begin, both fighters pushing themselves to the limit. Dubois, no longer just a contender, trains with the mindset of a champion. The doubts of the past are fuel for the fire. Every round, every punch, every drop of sweat is a step closer to proving himself. He studies Usyk, watching the way he moves, the way he evades punches, the way he sets traps. He knows that to win, he must be smarter, sharper, and more relentless than ever before. Usyk, meanwhile, remains the enigma he has always been. His training is grueling, precise, a mix of scientific precision and old-school grit. He knows that Dubois is coming with more confidence, more power, more belief. But Usyk is not just a champion, he is a master of adjustments. He has fought bigger men before and made them look small. He has turned power punchers into hesitant, second-guessing fighters. He has an answer for everything. Or does he? Fight night approaches. The world is watching. The question that has haunted Dubois for so long is about to be answered. When the bell rings, will he rise to the occasion and prove his doubters wrong? Or will Usyk, the indomitable force, once again remind the world why he is one of the greatest to ever step into the ring? There is no turning back now. The truth is coming. And this time, it will be undeniable.